Ready to start? Okay, and we've got 9 here, so we've got a quorum. And I know that Matt needs to leave prematurely, but even if he leaves, 8 will still be a quorum. Is that correct? Okay. Okay, so we'll call to order at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Roll call.
Chair Margot Christensen.
Here.
Vice Chair Matt Brassard.
Here.
Member Tamara Burks.
Here.
Member Robert Coombs.
Here.
Member James Dawson.
Here.
Member Dennis Gallagher.
Here.
Member Edward Kellerman.
Here.
Member Autumn Klein. Member Nick Medina.
Here.
Member Michael Pantaleone.
Here.
Okay. Oh gosh, Autumn just walked in.
Okay. So first item is approval of the minutes for the January 14th TAC meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I so motion. Oh,
Ed, thank you. A second?
second.
Second for Matt. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. And we'll note that Autumn is now here. Okay, next item is a presentation and discussion regarding city entrance signs. Michael approached that subject last week, and so now this is just discussion only, and we'll move forward with
Sounds
that.
good. Yeah, just to introduce the topic. Yeah, actually, John Heine. Yeah, we will toss it over to Member Pantaleone to talk about his thoughts on that. And it is for discussion only. There would be no action taken today, but dialogue is welcome.
Well, I'm looking at potentially for self-promotion of our tourism board and having a welcome to Prescott signs at the 5 major entrances to the city, and keeping it simple, but at the same time, if you can envision welcome to Prescott, Arizona's Christmas city, world's oldest rodeo. And again, I'm not looking at I'm not picturing a marquee that's going to be cluttered with graphics and just poor contrast and so forth. Something that's crystal clear and simple and clean, what, where, and when. What the event is, when is it, and where it's at. And the tourism folks or the city runs that message board and promotes their upcoming events that will remind our locals of future events, as well as to let the visitors know, or to remind the visitors. Again, just a clean message board. Welcome to Prescott. Obviously, finances come into play. I'm not privy to that sort of information at the moment, but we could have, again, you want to keep it clean and simple at the boundary of the city limits or at the first major intersection, but we could have potentially anywhere from 2 to 4 monthly sponsors that could help defray some of the costs and perhaps generate some revenue. And those sponsors could be located, let's say, at the bottom or the side of the marquee. But again, the main reason is year-round promotion of our events on the sign. So I'm not looking at an archway. I'm not looking at a busy board, i.e. Yavapai College. I'm just looking for something that's clean and simple, where it promotes the brand of the city and let them know we're Arizona's Christmas city, home of the world's oldest rodeo, and then the upcoming events. And again, in order to generate revenue, we could have 2 to 4 monthly sponsors where their logo appears somewhere on that, not on the marquee, but permanently for that particular month at the base of the board. So that's my thoughts. And this could be done over a 3-year period. We could start on Highway 69 and with one sign, and then go 2 signs for the following year and 2 more signs to complete the process.
Were you thinking of Highway 69, 89 when you come into town on this?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's a great idea. I think the sponsorship is even better, but I think the sponsorships you should probably do for a year. Pike College may even be a good sponsor too, since they have a board, maybe work together with their board too.
Yeah, the sponsorship, again, there's so many different directions, whether you have monthly, yearly, 6-month sponsors, seasonally, whatever you want to do for sponsorship. But the main theme is what, when, and where. For this weekend, we have a special event this weekend. What, when, and where, and we can promote what we need to promote as a city, and keep it that simple and clean. Again, you don't want it too busy because people are driving 45 or more miles an hour on Highway 69. That way, you may also want to think of the first major intersection as well. So either way, at the city boundary or at an intersection.
Any other ideas on this? So, John, this would be an expense and some labor involved in having a staff person, consistently updating this digital media idea. So, is that feasible to talk about for next fiscal year, maybe?
Yeah, so we, just from a standpoint of expense, yes, it probably would be a capital expense for the acquisition of the sign or signs. We are right on the budget planning right now, probably not in a comfort zone to be able to do it for what would be the next fiscal year, which is FY27. What staff could do is research this, find out, there's a lot involved in that, locations, right-of-ways, easements, cost of the sign. So there could be some research done and report back, to TAC at a later date and say, here's what we found, here's what the cost would be. And ultimately, it would be TAC taking direction, or staff taking direction from TAC, and probably it would go to the council level if we are in the point of acquiring the signs and contracts and everything. That would be a council approval. So it would have plenty of discussion before we actually were able to make the purchase. So I think it just starts with the research. If that's something that TAC, we're not looking for action, but we always head nods and consensus are helpful for staff direction. So if there's some thought about doing a little research and reporting back at a later date, we're happy to do that. Yes, sir.
I just have a few comments on that. As far as the marketing and ROI on that and the sponsorships for that sign, I'm just not sure that we want to convolute the message of everybody's hometown, which is the consistent tagline of Prescott, and start convoluting it with several different things on there. I think there's better mediums to present that information. Also, I'd like to see a case study where the ROI actually does prove itself to be, I just don't see the ROI on us doing a digital sign and expense of maintaining it and the technology and everything else like that. I think money is better spent somewhere else. I think it is good to enhance the sign and make it consistent with everybody's hometown, since that's the town slogan. But other than that, I just don't see the need for sponsorship, and where we become a town full of sponsors on the actual City of Prescott sign itself. Those are my thoughts on that.
Okay. So maybe trying to establish some sort of ROI, or, for the expense, for the investment, whether it's sponsors or not, we're able to determine a per impression ROI or something like that.
I guess the question I have is, what are we trying to accomplish by doing that? And are the marketing dollars going to be worth it? And is it our job as the TAC committee to even go into that direction? Because isn't that a city responsibility rather than our responsibility?
I'm looking at 24/7 promotion for whatever city events that we want to promote. And I agree with you in the sense of the sponsorship is not necessary. You may clutter things. You want to keep it clean and simple. I just thought of sponsorship just from a financial standpoint to get things going. But irregardless, what we're trying to do is welcome people as they enter the city and let them know who we are, whether it's everybody's hometown or whatever we want to have there on a permanent basis, but have that up-to-date information about the events as they come into the town. They're aware of the events, upcoming events.
Jim?
Lots of thoughts. But if we look at the concept strategically, this is really a media allocation toward our strategy of welcoming and inviting and encouraging people to not only come to the city, but also to participate in events. If you look at it from a perspective of study, with state roads and local roads, it seems like there'd be a lot of analysis that have to be done in advance, but that has nothing to do with what the actual sign would say, or signs. Then what's the method? Is it floating billboards that switch time to time? It's a whole lot of things that would have to be done. And I would think that we'd want to involve an outside resource that specializes in this kind of thing, outside of what staff can do in terms of laws and regulations and what you could do. I used to do a lot of outdoor advertising. On 69, the opportunity for viewership is no more than 3 seconds. So it has to be exceptionally simple. So there's a whole lot of things. So I think marketing experts and out of home companies, outdoor companies would have to be involved. I think it would take an expenditure of resources to do that, to get to a point where we could make a decision. So the timing, that might even be for FY57. There might be some research, not only in the laws, but also types of companies that could be involved that would help us do that. Okay. Then you get into the whole thing of operations. How often do you change it? But that to me is a down the road kind of thing, no different than how often we changed our Facebook signs or those kind of things. Not a bad concept, whether it's workable or not. That's probably the larger question.
I like the idea, Michael. Thank you. I understand Nick's perspective. Does this fall under the category of tourism promotion? If they're already coming into town, then they're already here. Although I really like the idea of highlighting our events in some way and welcoming and all of that. But if they're already driving in, they're already here. So that just begs the question, is this tourism promotion, and should it come out of bed tax, or should this be an idea for the general fund? That might be the question. It's a great concept. I love the idea. It's just, where would the funds come from, would be my question. Autumn?
I should know the answer to this, but do we have welcome to Prescott signs at our entrances to town?
We have one that I know of, and none that are the responsibility of the tourism office. There is one that actually, we've had some inquiries about it being in a dilapidated state on 69, still tracking down ownership and responsibility for that.
Is that the one at Lowe's?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So their city's looking into that separately, but no, we don't have anything other than that, nothing official, so.
I think those would be nice to greet our visitors, and even if we could have a concept sign somewhere that people seek out to take pictures with, like the Las Vegas sign.
Photo op.
That's a draw for people.
Councilman Ruby?
Yesterday, there was the presentation about the signature events and the support for them and the in-kind contributions. And you might want to, probably something council will consider. Does this count as part of the in-kind contribution to each of the major events if they were the ones listed? Just as a financial kind of matter.
Thank you for that.
Okay, so looking for direction, would you like an initial kind of look into this and see, I've heard a lot of different comments, but we could do some initial research and get some ideas of what that would look like. We're happy to do that with some direction.
Jim?
I have an idea. I think staff could, within a reasonable amount of time, look at all the statutory, internal governmental kinds
Yeah.
of issues. And then I would suggest consideration of outside companies that might be the resources to put together conceptually and how it would work, et cetera, for review and what that cost would be over and whatever period of time is consistent with all your other tasks.
All right,
Okay.
Very good.
Any
Good
other
direction.
feedback?
it's helpful. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you, guys. Okay. Next item is regarding utility bills at Sharlot Hall Museum. We brought this up, I think it was last month. Wanted to talk about, of course, no formal vote or anything like that, just a discussion on the budgetary line item for Sharlot Hall utilities. Do you want to launch this, John?
Sure. I think just to give some context, and Stuart Rosebrook with Sharlot Hall is here to answer some questions too, but giving a historical context to this, the city has been in an agreement with, I think it's the Prescott Historical Society, right, by name, since 1917 to provide certain services to Sharlot Hall, and that includes covering utility bills. In 2023, move forward to 2023, the City Council reviewed and approved a modern contract to cover this same responsibility. This was contract 2023-229, and it was entered into on July 1st, 2023. This particular contract that we're currently in has an expiration of 2028. So it was a 5-year contract. This sort of operates in tandem with the historical agreement, but there will be a date when this comes back to City Council for approval or review. So other context that might be helpful for you, this is paid through the bed tax, and I think that's partly why the chair is bringing it up. Typically, there's an allocation for in the city budget for up to $10,000 for this. It's been rare that we've reached that amount. It's usually less than that, and I'll give you an example. Right now, we went to our finance department, Arlie did some research for us. Current fiscal year 26 total, and I'm guessing that's through November, so 5 months out of the year. The allocation has been $1,858.85. So that's about 5 months through the year. So generally, what we find in the budget is that it is less than the $10,000, but it is a direct payment to cover those utility bills. So I guess that's all the context I have for you. If there's any questions, I can answer, and I'm sure Stuart would be able to fill in from the museum perspective as well if you're interested in that context as well.
Would you like Stuart to come and speak on this at all, or
If you would like.
what would you like to do? Okay, yep.
Right up to the podium.
I brought some historical materials for everyone today, if everyone would like a little background. This is a copy from 1927 that includes the original contract in 1917. Not everyone would. I also have copies of the contract for 2023. If anyone would like a copy of that contract?
We can provide that as well, but if you have it for him, that's great.
Chair Christensen, thank you very much for allowing me to speak here for a few moments on this. First, I'd like to say how grateful we are for tax support throughout the many years of your support of Sharlot Hall Museum. We really believe that we have been in partnership here with the City of Prescott going back actually since 1907 or even before, with Sharlot Hall as one of our local leaders leading our cultural and heritage here, bringing forth the vision of Sharlot Hall Museum. If any of you attended our event recently at the Elks Theater, it was celebrating an event that happened actually in 1907. It was her first event to raise money and raise awareness of the importance of the governor's mansion and her vision for a permanent museum that would celebrate our territorial and great state history, not knowing yet when we would become a state in 1907. If you look at our agreement that I presented to you, the historical agreement, there has been a relationship between the City of Prescott and the State of Arizona and Sharlot Hall Museum from the earliest days. And if you go to page 3 at the bottom, I believe that it's very important that our funding is from the general fund from the City of Prescott. It says very clearly that therefore this lease and agreement between said city and the said Sharlot M. Hall is irrevocable and perpetual. And I think that there has been this wonderful grand relationship between the City of Prescott and Sharlot Hall Museum. And in 1927, when this was codified between the city and the state and the Sharlot Hall Museum, it really has become a relationship that we're closing in on our centennial here in 1928, which, as we celebrate our 250th this year, as well as the centennial of Route 89 and Route 66, and the centennial of the Hacienda, we're looking forward to planning with the city a grand celebration of our centennial as a museum and the great leadership of Sharlot M. Hall. The total payments by the city under our agreement for 2023 shall not exceed $10,000 in any one fiscal year. And the funds that we receive here from the City of Prescott in support of our utilities is part of this original agreement that the City of Prescott agreed to support the electric and water of the museum. And we do depend on this as being seen separate from the bed tax and from tax support for us annually. And I know that annually right now we're in agreement to receive $10,000 from you all, plus we apply annually for the TAC tourism grant, which I believe we apply annually for $5,000, which supports our Prescott Indian art market. I'd love to answer any additional questions about this historic relationship. As I said, we are extremely grateful for your support and partnership in making it the best State of Arizona Museum, and know that our relationship with Prescott we take very seriously, and it's very important to us.
Questions? Nope.
Stuart, good presentation. Can you help me find the irrevocable and permanent?
Sure.
I can't, because that might just close the conversation, right?
That's all right. If you go to the bottom of page 3 of the historical document,
So where it says irrevocable and perpetual, is that
Correct.
the very bottom?
Mm-hmm.
And John, is there anything in the amended agreement that reflects anything positive or negative about that particular clause?
I'm not aware. What I think the reason why we entered into the 5-year agreement is simply to modernize the contract, right? But it does follow the original contract. So the assumption is that in 2028, we will simply renew another 5-year contract and continue that on in perpetuity.
So legally, if the city attorney looked at this, is there anything that would void the irrevocable and permanent clause?
I don't know if I'm qualified to answer that question at this point, but we certainly could have it looked at.
But
I
if
don't
that's
think
the
so.
case, then I would say move to drop this from any future discussion.
I think
Not sure.
one
So-
point I do want to,
What other questions? I have a comment, but Matt, you look like you want to say something.
yeah, no, I just, and I appreciate the contract and the irrevocable and everything. But I do want to say that bed tax didn't exist in 1917. So maybe this should come out of the general fund.
I've got the bed tax language in front of me on the official ballot. I refreshed my memory the other day. I'm not going to read the entire ballot, but it is for the promotion of tourism and the development of recreational facilities within the city of Prescott. So that's the what is supposed to come out of bed tax is recreational facilities and promotion of tourism. So this isn't to say that Charlotte Hall isn't deserving of city support, of course. It's just where the money should come from, general fund or bed tax. And that's, I think, the discussion that we have moving forward is, do we need to talk about a shift in utility payments that might be more appropriate out of general fund? And that's right off the ballot language. So that's my only comment. Any other discussion? Yes, Nick.
I have to say I agree only because it reminds me of the whole parking garage conversation that we had. What's maintenance versus what is promotion? So, yeah.
I would note also that under the 2023 agreement, under number 1, Roman numeral 1, party 3, that parties hereto desire to clarify the responsibilities of any under the agreement of June 7, 1917. And then at the number, under Roman numeral 2, terms, number 2, it reads, the parties agree that the services to be provided by the city in paragraph 2 above shall constitute an accord and satisfaction of any extent of the city's obligation the city may have to the society under the agreement of June 7, 1917 as consideration for executing the agreement. So, but
I think if it does go through, when it's supposed to go through, it seems odd to me. I think it should be general fund also for this. And my first thought is we have other destinations like that, museums in the area. It's like, I think that would come up too. It's like, why aren't we paying their electrical, plumbing bills at the same time? So splitting it up. But I do think Matt has a good point with the coming out of the general fund and not us.
I have a question. Some of the museums receive a $5,000 grant on top of TAC, correct?
Correct. Yes, the museums, and Stuart alluded to the marketing support that the bed tax does provide to the 3 museums. We have had to bring that down due to budget constraints the last few years. I believe it's $10,000 for each of the museums. I'm looking at the museum directors, so I think that's $10,000 now for each. So that is ongoing. There is also now a contract for that as well, like a modern contract that supports that.
And Charlotte Hall is one of those museums
That is
that also
correct.
gets that additional.
Yes.
And out of curiosity, John, do you know at what point this came out of bed tax versus general fund? Because again, bed tax wasn't around in 1917.
That's something we would have to research. We could probably go back in financial records and find out when that switched over. But I'm guessing it was right around the time the bed tax came into existence.
Yeah, I would think probably 20-some years ago when bed tax evolved, I would think that they made that shift. That would make sense to me.
I'm sure we could track that down in financial records.
Other comments? Okay.
Chair Christensen,
Thank
thank
you
you so much. I really appreciate your time here today.
Thank you
Thank you all
for
very
being
much for
here.
your support.
Okay.
Greatly
You
appreciate
bet.
it.
Thank you. Okay, next is updates, and I think we're going to start with Arlie. Is that first up? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Starting with the AOT co-op updates, Heather provides us a bi-monthly update, so I don't have anything for you right now, but next month I'll have a whole list of updates from her. And then our social media report was a little delayed, but I can share those numbers with you guys. I received it just right before this meeting, so I'll share those numbers with you guys afterwards so you can review those. But looking at the Experience Prescott website throughout January 2026, the number of active users this past month was 26,000. The event count was 237,000 conversions. New users are coming from paid social, about 15,000, so like meta ads, things like that. Organic, 8.5 thousand, direct, 3.6 thousand, and referral, 1.3 thousand. Our top campaigns were Google Ads, Facebook paid ads, the City of Prescott website, the AOT Co-op, and Sparklight advertising. Users by country in January, we had 1.3 thousand from China, 114 from Germany, and 71 from Mexico. And then cities we are watching constantly, January 1st through December 31st of each year, are Phoenix. And so far we've had 8.4 thousand viewers from Phoenix this year, 2.1 thousand from Los Angeles, 616 from Las Vegas, 998 from Denver, and 492 from Tucson. And the current top 10 cities viewing our Experience Prescott website are Phoenix, Los Angeles, Prescott, Lanzhou, No Set Location, Denver, Mesa, Las Vegas, Glendale, and Tempe. And then finally, our top web page of the month was Things to Do with 19,000 views. Any questions?
No?
Okay.
Questions? Great.
Thank you.
Good numbers. Thanks, Arlie.
I have a comment. I'd like just and be in the record, please. We've had a transition of leadership over the last few months. Arlie's doing what she's doing. I haven't noticed 1 inch of a drop in anything. If anything, it's improved. Congratulations, you're doing a great job in the first couple of months.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Good comment. Okay, we don't have an airport update to speak of, but let's see. Do you want to jump ahead to tourism?
Sure.
Is that you?
Give you some
Okay.
sales updates, STR numbers.
Okay.
We'll start with sales and groups. We've got one outstanding group coming this fall. Arizona Society of Association Executives. Their annual meeting is going to be coming in the fall. That's going to be about a 3 or 4 day event, over 100 room nights. So really looking forward to that one. They're the AZSAE. That's the acronym for them. Let's see. We've got our STR and bed tax. Our finance department gave us our most updated numbers through November. Let's see, for fiscal year to date, as of November, our total taxable activity is just down under 3%, just shy of 3%. Our bed tax through November is down just under 2%, 1.95. And the handout I gave you all was our visitation numbers through 2025. And this also includes our CoStar and STR at the bottom there. But the top, total trips, just down 2%, 1,097,953 trips. And that's the only number that's down. All the others are slightly up. Our visitor days, average length of stay, and the total spend, 106,915,783. The average spend went up 4% there, 223.28, and the average transaction size stayed the same. On our CoStar STR monthly numbers through the first part of January, ADR is down slightly, 3.7% at $130.06. Occupancy just slightly down over a percent, 62.98%. And revenue is just down 3.7 at 4,662,615. So those are the numbers to talk about. On tourism, we're excited to be hosting a fam tour next month in March, specifically Thursday, March 12th through Friday the 13th. A group hosted in collaboration with the Arizona Office of Tourism will be hosting 3 Australian and 1 New Zealand media people. We're looking forward to that. They're going to be staying here locally and visiting Watson Lake and a number of places downtown, staying Copper Note for dinner. So we're really looking forward to that. And that is everything that I have.
Mike, could you remind us again on the CoStar star data? Is that Prescott only hotels, or is it also Prescott Valley? The last count I have in my head is 14 reporting hotels, and is Town Place reporting for the destination? And
Yeah.
are they included?
No, that is just Prescott.
Just Prescott
Yes.
only?
Yes.
14 hotels in Prescott only. Okay. I just wanted to verify where the data was coming from. Thank you.
That's it for me. Thank you, guys.
Okay, let's go with council liaison update. Mayor Pro Tem Lois.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm not as organized as I normally am. We had a very long night last night here in council chambers. But the big news that I think everyone knows is what's coming up this weekend with America 250. We had a proclamation yesterday in council chambers for all the members on America 250 Quad City Prescott area community to come. That same proclamation will be given on Saturday. And so we're doing a great job, John and his crew and everybody that's involved. So I feel like we're going to have an amazing weekend down on Goodwin Street, and all of the courthouse plaza has been permitted. So, and then as long as the state releases the museum on time, we'll have a fun weather trip, hopefully, coming up all the way on Friday into town. So if there's anything you can do that we're looking for help is just making sure that all of downtown, all your window fronts, everything looks really patriotic and exciting about being the kickoff for America 250. The other thing that's underway that's appropriate to talk about is the Rodeo Fairgrounds Master Plan is underway. We had a great public meeting at the Rosser Street Center. When was that? On February 2nd. And a lot of participants, a lot of people filled out forms, so that's still all being processed through. We are in the process, the city, of working to amend our rodeo lease agreement. So we're under negotiation with that. It's critical in order to allow the city to spend the $15.3 million that we received from the state and not come under any gift clause problems. So hopefully we'll get that resolved. And if we do, then we will be at the end of the month approving multiple facility arrangements for contracts to be able to begin to try and get some of it all done, including things like the sound system prior to the rodeo happening in July. So that's the goal, and we're kind of up against the wall, but we'll hopefully work it through. And that's all I have today. Any questions? I just want, because I saw Matt, and I want to shout out to Matt in his PDP role. He was a real help to me. So we're going to have music on the Courthouse Plaza for the entire time the Liberty Bell is open. And we didn't think as a committee we would get bands to volunteer their services to come out, and we've got some great ones coming. So thank you very much for your help. I appreciate it.
I wanted to thank you, Lois, for your support of the 250 and putting it together so quickly with the city and the county and the chamber and all the many, many, many volunteers that have signed up.
Well, thank
to
you.
help out.
That's very nice, but honestly, it takes this whole town and everyone coming
Like
together.
every event we do, it
And
seems
every event we do. And so this is going to be another great day for the city of Prescott and
Have you
hopefully
seen
the
the
Quad
latest?
City. I'm sorry?
The county put up a huge flag, facing the chamber building this morning. So
Oh, good. It went up. I
building
haven't
looks
been over there to
really,
see
really
it.
cool.
Wonderful. That's good to hear. So, anything else? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving up to grants. John?
Yeah, just two items. One, just to update everybody, Margot was at the meeting, but council did review the special event policy yesterday in a study session. So you all saw that last month, went to council. There were some great questions and some direction for staff. So I think what will happen is there'll be some little bit tweaking and refining of that policy. Probably will come back to TAC for your review and then at some point to council for adoption too. Did you have more to add to that?
Yeah, the other thing that we did yesterday, you just triggered for me beyond that, is we were approving all of the ordinances and resolutions related to all the boards and committees. And we ended up finding something highly unusual. And I was huddling with Margot and Mike and John, that the foundation of this committee said there'll be 11 members, 7 from tourism and hospitality, 3 from local businesses, and 1 will be a representative for city council. And everyone was like, well, that's you, Lois. And I'm like, no, I don't vote, because our policy for council liaisons to all of the boards and commissions is we're there as liaisons. We're not a member of the committee. So we scrambled yesterday, and Sarah, our clerk, said, yes, we'll make the change. And she announced it, that we're going to end up saying, and 1 member from the general public. Okay, so that'll be a change. And so there'll be 11, and we're going to have to squeeze in 1 more person up here to be able to, if there ever is a vote, that they have a vote, okay? So that's the only other news that happened late yesterday. Make sense? Good. Thank you.
Yeah, and
Thank
thank
you,
you for
Lois.
catching that. It was an 11th hour thing, but that was operated under since 2017, and it was missed until our Mayor Pro Tem found it, so we appreciate that. So, yes, so the special events policy will come back to this body for review and then go to council at some later date. But what's right in front of us and what we know and love is the tourism grants, the TAC grants. What I'm going to do, just for the benefit of the fact that we're live streaming, you all mostly know this, but I'm just going to review the TAC grant process, what it means, why they're here, and then I'll also review the dates that we have, the key dates for TAC. So bear with me here. The tourism grants are designed to assist nonprofit organizations hosting events in Prescott. The grant's goal is to encourage event marketing outside of the Prescott area and to encourage overnight visitation. Grants are funded by the city's bed tax, transient occupancy bed tax. Events are eligible for up to $5,000 depending on their rating and how many organizations successfully apply. The grant is available only to registered nonprofits. The grant process begins and opens in the spring, and grant funds are provided for the coming City of Prescott fiscal year, which is July 1st to June 30th. The TAC recently developed a guidebook for it's not so recently, but we did develop a guidebook for special event organizers. And this guidebook is designed to provide organizers with a structure to help them improve their overall management of their event, specifically focusing on marketing, crowd estimating, and total attendance, hotel, retail, and restaurant usage. Organizations receiving grant funds are required to provide their best efforts to comply with grant requirements that result in a positive economic impact on the City of Prescott. You can always ask questions at hello@experienceprescott.com. So we're coming right up on the TAC grant process. Here are the key dates. Sunday, March 1st is the grant applications will be officially open. A reminder that the applications are available on experienceprescott.com. On the homepage, go to Tourism Advisory Committee and drop down, you'll see the grant process there. Sunday, March 1st opening. And then the following Thursday, March 5th, is an optional grant meeting at 3 p.m. Here at City Hall. And we will announce that in further detail. But that's an opportunity for folks to come and learn about how the process works. We've been doing that for years, so.
Is that a required meeting for the event organizers?
It has been optional, and we strongly suggest that everyone attend, especially first-time event organizers or applicants. Thank you. And then Friday, April 3rd, 5 p.m. is the deadline. So you have from March 1st until April 3rd for the applications to be submitted. The rough timeline from there is that award letters would be sent out in June. That follows tax meeting to review all of the applications, probably usually in May is usually when we do that. So award letters would be sent out in June, and then City Council approves the grants as one group, usually at a July meeting. So that's sort of the timeline, and then from there, we start to, once approved, we start to ask the event organizers to send their invoices in. We try to get all invoices paid by December 30th of the year. So any questions about the process?
When will you set the date for the TAC meeting, and will it be consistent with a regular meeting?
So we did put a calendar together of TAC meetings. Usually we confer with all of you to try to do that alongside the May meeting. So the question of when is very soon. We'll be able to get that back to you, and we'll set that up. That will be a public meeting. Usually we do like the May meeting, and then we do the TAC grant request. So we'll work on getting that done and posted. Any other questions? Okay, that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Last on the list is Recreation Services, but I don't see Ryan here. So are we going to skip that for now?
Yeah,
Okay.
don't have a report.
Okay. Okay. Last is committee member updates, specifically related to business and tourism in your organization or your business or your nonprofit, whatever you're affiliated with. And we'll keep that pretty short. Autumn, would you like to start? Do you have anything to update us about?
Not today.
Jim?
Yeah, I have I'm confused. So I read the minutes, and I read about what we can and can't say and what we have to apply. When is that in effect, and how's that going to work?
So I'll try to help. The staff got guidance from the city clerk and attorney's office very recently, within the last few weeks. So I think we're given a pass for this meeting to continue with what we've done in the past. However, going forward, our understanding is, and again, I'm not the lawyer, but open meeting law, when you review it strictly, we are not going to be able to provide the opportunity for announcements such as what you're doing here. It's been a tradition, something TAC's done since before we were a city commission. I'm personally sorry that we're not going to be able to do it, but it becomes a more formalized process. So if I'm looking at Dennis and folks that do special events and you want to announce something, what we would ask is that you submit something to staff ahead of time for the agenda packet. It can be a handout, it can go in the packet, but we would want that ahead of time, right? So just want to make sure we're clear on that. So what we won't be able to do going forward is the general announcements, hey, here's what's going on next month. So again, it's open meeting law. We do what the attorneys tell us to do. So starting with the next meeting, that's how we're going to do it. But we still want to talk about great things that are happening. We just need all that information in advance.
Okay, then I have one thing. It'll only take me an hour and a half to catch up. No, in October, I missed the meeting because we went to Portugal for 3 weeks. And we talk a lot about over-tourism in the United States and in Prescott. And let me say, we have no worries about over-tourism here in this state. Portugal, and we went in the off-season in October, and I've never seen so many 5,000-person cruise ships. I've never seen so many buses. I've never seen so many anythings. And I think we need to be cognizant of tourism and its impact on our city, our residents. We don't want to be packed with people to a point where it's a negative. But we have a million miles to go before we even begin to think that we're in a place of over-tourism. And I know we attend association meetings and whatnot. We need to think thoroughly about us in relation to what might be happening in New Orleans or other cities in the country, because we have a really nice number of people that come, whether it's weekday concerts or our events, and they're not even close to being crowded relative to what we see in other major cities across the country and across the world.
Thank you. Ed?
Well, since I have the opportunity, I'll just point out that currently we have a very special exhibition at the FIPA Museum. It's called Sacred Southwest. It's focused on Hispanic devotional art, and there's pieces from the 17th century through current day. I know I say it every time that you should come out and check it out, but this one is phenomenal. They went a lot of effort into it. There's a local collector, a couple that has put these pieces together over the last 20 or 30 years from Spain, Mexico, and the American Southwest. But I encourage you to get out and take a look at it. It comes with a lot of great text about where these items came from, the significance of bringing Christianity to indigenous people and how they adopted that and turned that into some pretty phenomenal artwork. I'll also mention the Arizona Pastel Artist Association that will be doing their 10th International Exhibition and Sale starting at the end of this month. And then in March, we'll do the Northern Arizona Watercolor Society Spring Juried Exhibition. And then something special I'm really looking forward coming up in April is a retrospective of George Phippin's artwork called Stories from the Saddle, which will feature not just pieces of artwork, but some artifacts and memorabilia from his life. And then, of course, Memorial Day weekend art show and sale. We're already getting ready for that, looking at over maybe one of the largest rosters of artists that we've had in the past decade. So I'm really looking forward to that. So thank you for the time.
Thank you, Ed. Not much from me. It's January and February have been a little bit soft, and so the numbers after the government shutdown are starting to come back again. But it's certainly been a little bit soft the last few months for our hotels. I don't know about anybody else, but the forecast looks really good. So I'm optimistic that spring and summer are going to roar back again. So that's just my opinion. I don't know. Others in the room might have another opinion. Tamara, Nick, I don't know.
It's been pretty slow for us too. January, February historically has been, but we do have a few events. We've got a Valentine's Day dinner over at the Prescott Pines this weekend, so looking forward to that. Other than that, that's it.
Okay. We've got a fun event coming up February 27th on the Courthouse Plaza. Teddy Roosevelt's coming back to town, and he'll be giving a speech, and it's going to include America 250, the Rough Riders, the grand opening of the Theodore Roosevelt Library in Medora, North Dakota this summer, and a number of things. He's also going to be announcing, I think, we've confirmed him back here March 20th of next year for another show and dinner, and the last two have been sold out early. So anyway, I was going to send this down. If you want to take a picture or write down the date and time, you can do that. Also, I'm working on a special event wrapped around Route 66 100th anniversary, and that's May 2nd at the Hazeltine. And I'm working on a flyer now, and I'll get that to Arlie and the city to include next time. And then also this weekend, we have a special window set up at the center wrapped around America 250. And at night, it looks great. During the day, there's some reflection, so you really have to look close. But it's, I think it's an exceptional window to take in right across the street from the Liberty Bell. So that's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Lois touched on it, but I'm going to run into the opening ceremony for the route to 250. The Arizona Traveling Museum will be here this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And for those who want kind of a sneak peek, we're hoping for Friday night, because it should be here during the evening. It will be lit up so you can kind of see it without going in it. And the Chamber of Commerce will be open, the Visitor Center will be open both days until the end of the Traveling Museum. So come on down, say hello. And of course, it's Valentine's Day, which is Statehood Day for the state of Arizona too, at the same time. So it's pretty exciting. We have our building all done up for the festivities this weekend. There's a heck of a lot more going on for Valentine's Day. Get on the website, prescott.org or experienceprescott.com. Thanks.
Thanks, Robert. Tamara?
Don't really have anything to update right now, so easy.
Okay, Michael?
2 nights ago down in Phoenix, I was fortunate enough to be invited to dinner with the trustees associated with the Arizona Sports Entertainment Commission. They're also the ones responsible for the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame ceremony, which will be taking place on April 9th, also in Phoenix, and had an opportunity to talk to a number of the trustees. They're in the process of looking for a physical building to have a museum for the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame, and I encouraged them to come up to Prescott. I think they liked my idea from the standpoint of using baseball as a comparison. It could get lost. The Hall of Fame could get lost in New York City, for example, but it would not get lost in Cooperstown, New York. And it could very easily get lost in Phoenix and Tucson, and it could thrive up here. And one of the key partners associated with this Entertainment Commission is Crest Insurance Group. And Crest Insurance has offices, their headquarters are in Tucson. They have offices in Phoenix, Sedona, Flagstaff, all throughout the state, but not here in Prescott. And why not work in harmony? And I encouraged the CEO there to maybe bring an office to Prescott. They're expanding all over the place, Nevada, Wyoming, most recently Houston, Texas. Why not have an office in Prescott in harmony with the physical building with the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame Museum? Everyone seemed extremely receptive towards that concept. They want to get past the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which will take place on April 9th, before really zeroing in on this project. So hopefully we'll be hearing back from them late spring. I've encouraged them to come up. I'll be happy to arrange a meeting with the mayor, with Mr. John here and other city officials, and hopefully that will take place soon. Yours truly is one of the 7 inductees into the Sports Hall of Fame for Arizona on April 9th. So that's the reason why I was down at the. That's the reason why I was invited to the dinner in the first place. Real quick story about the Rough Riders, if you don't mind. Being a Rough Rider associated with Yavapai College Soccer, we took the team to the VA Center back in 1994, I believe it was. They visited, the Rough Riders visited some of the patients and so forth. And one of my players, Michael Holloman from Wichita, Kansas, walked into a room where an elderly lady was laying down at the time and started talking to her. And Mike bluntly asked, "How old are you?" And she said, 103. And Mike said, "You must know the real Rough Riders."
Wow, really said that. Okay.
Thank you, Michael. Good way to end the meeting.
Yeah.
Anyone else comments? Anything from anyone? Okay. Well, we are adjourned at 11:59, 30 minutes ahead of schedule. Wow.